Here's something that might not be a big deal, but could actually be, and it has been for me. Just a week ago, I had a problem with this. And what we have here is the concrete actually sloping up to the door and sloping off to the sides of the walkway. This would allow people to use the walkway, come up here, enter the door from either direction and from the front. And I would imagine this would be fine for a wheelchair also, or for somebody who has a problem climbing up small steps. But that isn't the case. If we look at the threshold here, it's about a ½ inch. This looks like a standard threshold, and for ADA rules, it's got to be 1/4 inch total. You can't have a ½ inch threshold and then another ½ inch for the weather stop at the bottom of the threshold. This isn't what the ADA wants. So here we can see, if we look at the siding should be level. We got a gap over here, and it's pretty tight up here, which means that it's sloping down this way. And of course, it's on both sides. So here we can see where it's down a little lower. So here's the problem I've had, and I just experienced this in a walkway in a parking lot, walking up to a sidewalk. And there was about a 2-inch variation, I would imagine, in about 3 feet, and I almost tripped. And I'm not saying, again, something like this for ADA, I would imagine would be fine if they're going to change the threshold out later and make this ADA accessible. Whoever poured the concrete was thinking ahead, great. But I'd like to propose something else. I would suggest pouring a small ramp at the base of the door. If you're going to make it ADA accessible, why not do it to where it's going to be safe and not create a trip hazard? And this could actually be done by pouring a ramp and putting 2 planters at the end, as simple as that. And again, you need to follow the ADA rules for this. Also, I'm just kind of throwing something out there. If we don't have the plants, you could walk from either side, and this would be a trip hazard. You put the plants in, it's going to force the people to go around. Now, obviously, you're going to have the plants a little farther to the front, or have some larger plants, maybe a custom planter box made for something like this. But this right here would block the people, like I said, from tripping over the sides, and at the same time allow people to use the ramp if necessary for a wheelchair, or like I said, as people get older, sometimes they have problems even climbing up a 4-inch step. And if this is 4 inches, the difference between the threshold and the walkway, then this could actually create a problem, if that's the problem you're trying to eliminate. Another alternative would be to build a couple of handrails. And you could always have one handrail if you felt that was going to be necessary, and put a pot on the other side. So again, we have 2 handrails that you could put in. You have 1 handrail. And again, you need to follow the ADA requirements. And again, I can't stress this enough. If this is what you're actually trying to accomplish, these potted plants on the side might not be in their rule book. The handrail will be, and the potted plant, of course, would just prevent people from walking through here. But again, you could do a variety of different things to block the access off, to prevent people from tripping over this. But I think this is actually a better plan for making something accessible than to slope this stuff off to the side and create trip hazards for other people that are going to be using it, that walk perfectly fine, like myself. I'm 54 years old, and I can walk through this stuff right now, walk through most areas without a problem. But these variations, like I was talking about in the walkways, that you're not expecting, like I already shown you in the picture in the previous pictures. could actually do more damage than good. So I would recommend something more along these lines than I would sloping the concrete off in either directions, unless there's no other alternative or way to build it.